All right, my nerds, we are in for some fun today. So, remember how I said I didn't know what was happening this week? Sometimes fate, the universe, maybe it's Bacchus himself, shows up and is like, I've gift wrapped this video idea for you. So, last week I got to teach this like wine and snacks class, so think like chips, Chex Mix. The class favorite was probably those like cheese puff balls that are a weird fluorescent orange. It was honestly a pretty glorious time. But before the class even started, hold on, we're gonna pause for some feels. One of my regular students brought me a book, and she was like, "Oh, it's not a big deal." And I was like, "Oh my God, my nerd course. I'm having emotions. What do I do?" Plus, it's by Jancis Robinson, who co-authored another book that I have and wrote some. She's basically like a wine celebrity. Anyway, I just wanted to have some feels with you about that, but another awesome regular brought up Kalimotxo. So if you've seen, it's Kalimotxo, Kalimotxo, sometimes called the poor man's sangria, and it's red wine and Coke. So I've been avoiding this for like 2 years, but I figured, okay, I've just paired wine with junk food, so let's have an open mind and some science. And because we're doing one weird red wine mixer thingamajig, I thought, well, let's just be chaotic and do 7 weird red wine mixer thingamajigs. So, Kalimotxo, red wine and Coke. So I wanted the wines that we're having today to be easy to find. And for our first wine, we're doing this like very fruit forward, budget friendly. I feel like you can always find Campo Viejo, Tempranillo. This is not the time for your cellared stuff. So not cheap, but not expensive. And we are looking at bright cherries, medium tannins, very fruit forward, and some like good, nice acidity. So why might this actually work? Well, cherry Coke's already a thing. And then Coke has caramel and vanilla notes, which mimic the flavors that we sometimes get from the oak aging. Then we also have sweetness and acidity of the Coke kind of like rounding out, hopefully, some of the tannins and then boosting the fruit a little bit. And I'll be honest, like, I pretty much always want red wine because I'm not a huge white wine person, but on a hot day, red wines can feel very heavy. So I'm hoping this is exactly the red wine refreshment that I didn't know I needed. So let's see. Okay, we're gonna do a 1-to-1 ratio. So I have 2 glasses because also I grew up drinking Diet Coke. So I kind of think about Diet Coke as the way I expect Coke to taste. So we're gonna do 1 ounce to 1 ounce and see how this goes. I feel like for variations on this, you could do cherry Coke, of course. That would be nice. And then we live in a super diverse neighborhood, so I probably could have found Mexican Coke if I had just looked a little harder. Mexican Coke has cane sugar instead of corn syrup. And then if this does pan out, I suppose we could always try like vanilla Coke or Dr. Pepper. We could go crazy with this. But let's see how this is first. So you have watched me pour 1 ounce. I guess I didn't really have the camera on it, but I promise it's 1 ounce of each of the types of Coke. And then we will pour 2 ounces of this, split it in half. I'm so nervous. Da, 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 da. Okay, so this is the diet, this is the regular. It kind of just smells like cherry Coke. That is so much less awful than I thought it would be. Do you want to try this?
Is it like cherry Coke though?
Mm.
Because I don't like cherry Coke.
Good point.
I'm not sold.
The diet Coke one actually gets a lot more of the cherry flavor.
I'm gonna pass. As someone who doesn't like Coke in general.
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
Then yeah.
I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10. I am shooketh. That is significantly better than I thought it would be. I'm not sure I could tell you what it tastes like exactly. I mean, definitely for you, I'm gonna say no, because it does kind of taste like cherry Coke, but I like cherry Coke. I wanted to hate this, and I'm mad, but I'm not mad at it. I'm mad at the fact that I wanted to hate it, and I don't. Okay, that's super confusing. I would say with the regular Coke, you get more of a wine experience, and with the Diet Coke, you get much more of a cherry Coke experience. So I say go for it. Try it. Go grab some Cokes, get some variations on your Cokes, and give this one a shot. Yeah, I'm gonna, maybe even a 6.5 out of 10. What did I give it before? 6 to 7? We'll go 6.5. No, okay, 6.5 out of 7. All right, stand by for the next one. Okay, this video obviously is going to have a lot of edits because I'm only so quick with gathering all of the ingredients. So that was pretty much a win. Our next thing that I have seen trending, I guess the other thing you could try is a different wine. So like if you wanted to do like a very juicy Garnacha or a Monastrell, the French versions of those are Grenache and Mourvedre, which I would not recommend. I would go with the Garnacha or the Monastrell. Nice fruity Spanish wines. You could also try that. Okay, next trend we are trying that I keep seeing, vanilla ice cream and red wine in a glass together, almost like a float. We had this discussion in class, and then we started debating, when you make a float, do you put in the ice cream first or the soda first? Let me know in the comments, because I'm like wildly curious and I actually don't know which one I do. Anyway, I've been seeing this other social media trend where people say like, oh, we listen and we don't judge. That is inevitably before they say something that definitely merits being judgmental. But that is how I feel right now. We listen and we don't judge. So let's talk about why this could work. The fat and the proteins in the ice cream will bind with the wine's tannins. We've kind of talked about that before. The molecules bind in your mouth. It makes the tannins feel a little bit smoother. Like the Coke, the vanilla should mimic some oak aging notes. So, and then finally, you normally, sorry, I was trying to remember what the finally was. It's up in here somewhere. While you normally want your dessert and wine pairing, you want the dessert to be less sweet than the wine. Otherwise, it can make the wine taste kind of like bitter. But this is a different sweetness. This is a creamy, fatty sweetness, not like a pure sugar bomb. Think about like candy is just like a sugar bomb and it's gonna wreck your wine. But this is a different type of sweet. So it's possible that the fruit in the wine might actually like pop and shine a little bit better. Now, ideally, I could use a port or even like a Zinfandel that has residual sugar, but I'm trying to stay, budget and waste friendly. So we're sticking with our humble Tempranillo. I picked the vanilla ice cream because that's the trend, but because I just love chaos, we're also going to try to stuff some into these vanilla bean mochis because the bean should add some depth, and also it just kind of sounded fun. That this is not the trend, this is just my brain, which probably explains a lot about me in these videos. And then for twists on this, I would say you could do like chocolate ice cream, but since I'm allergic to chocolate, we're not doing that. But I did grab, okay, so these words, I watched a lot of videos. Some people said dulce de leche, some people said dulce de leche. And then I found this guy who has like that Castilian Spanish lisp, and he says like dulce de leche. And now I just feel like I have no idea how to pronounce it whatsoever. So we're trying it with ice cream for the caramel notes that are kind of like oaking. So let's see how this goes. We're going to pour. God, I'm so nervous. We're going to pour a little bit. Pour a lot of bit. Pour a little bit. I still have the spoon. Okay, moosh that in there. Kind of moosh that. Oh, jeez. Kind of aggressive. Why don't I hate this? I want to hate this. Oh, no, I hate that. Don't drink the wine. That part's bad. Eating the ice cream with the hint of the wine gives you just thoughts a fruity wine. Actually drinking the wine once the ice cream has been in it is a hard no for me. I feel like this is similar. Eating the ice cream that has had the wine poured over it, actually pretty solid. I feel like I'm gonna regret what's about to happen. Better with the caramelization. Okay, stand by. I'll probably speed this up in the actual video, but I have these mochis. I'm so nervous. Why was this one so bad? Hold on. Get like a nice spoonful of ice cream with, or spoonful of wine with the ice cream. Oh goodness, that was almost dangerous. I prefer it with the caramel, for sure. Okay, back to what we were doing. I definitely knew this video was for sure going to be chaos. We're borrowing this from when we had to give my cat some oral medication. We had like an extra syringe. You could also use, I think for like children's cough syrup, you can get kind of these same things. Okay, however much wine that is. Shove it in there. Oh. Oh. It's a slow process. Ooh. Now, the only problem with this is I usually eat my mochis, like I bite them in half. But I guess we're going for it. Oh, good. It's not bad. I just can't eat a whole mochi at once. That's a lot of mochi. Okay. Well, because there's so much ice cream in comparison to how much wine there is, honestly didn't make a huge impact. So that experiment might not have worked as well. I'm going to give a non-grade to the mochi because you really can't taste it. Maybe if I had like cut it in half and then injected it, but that's beside the point. I am going to give the ice cream like a 3.5, well, the vanilla ice cream, maybe like a 3.5 out of 10. And then the, we just call it like caramel, maybe if you had salted caramel, is going to be like a 4 out of 10. So that's our ice cream, but don't you worry, there's more. Okay, next up, red wine and espresso. It's like a power move that no one asked for. No, it feels actually to me kind of like the old sweet Italian man version of Red Bull and vodka. Yes, I used to drink Red Bull and vodka, and yes, I consider myself very lucky to be alive. So espresso is like thick and creamy and rich, which means it might actually like hold its own and be able to stand up against the red wine. This is not a drink I would try with like instant coffee or an Americano or anything thinner and lighter. We really need the structure. So I'm hoping, because we also see coffee as a note in like secondary, tertiary, oak-aged reds, that maybe there's gonna be like a little profile overlap here. The potential conflict in my mind is that both espresso and wine bring bitterness based on like the tannins, the roasting, etc. Sometimes though, doubling down can create harmony through amplification. So like when you pair acidity with acidity and food and wine, it can actually just make it like zesty and zingy. It can also make it a disaster. So we're trying it because science TM. And also because I live in Boston where we have a lot of wine and a lot of delightful elderly Italian men. So I just feel like I have to. So this is the last one with our Campo Viejo. I'm thinking a 2-to-1 ratio. So I have 1.5 ounces of espresso poured by my ever delightful partner, and then 3 ounces of wine. I feel like I should have maybe started with less wine. Maybe we'll start with 2 ounces of wine. No, you know what? We're just going to do 2.5 ounces of wine and compromise and give it a try. It's a nice color. Maybe it'll be like cherry notes. We have cherry notes in coffee. Cheers. I don't know if you could hear the "I'm nervous" that just came from the other room. It's like they cancel each other out. I'm so confused right now. It tastes... I think my brain just broke. It smells like a very vegetal green coffee. And it tastes like peas. Not peas, like the green. Do you want to taste this? I'm so confused. Don't be scared.
Very scared.
It tastes very vegetal, which is weird. You don't have to try a lot.
It smells like green coffee.
Right? Neither one is strong.
Yeah, kind of tastes like the alcohol flavor of wine.
Okay.
And really bitter water.
Yeah. With green. Somehow there are still, to me, green notes.
Yeah.
That was his guest appearance, by the way. The faces are not good. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this. I'm having trouble calling it bad. Like, I'm not having a visceral reaction. It's just not good. Like, I don't even know what to rate it. 4 out of 10. Could be another 3.5 out of... It's not good. But we are going to move on to a new wine, so be right back. Okay, well, that was something. I tried the Tempranillo just to be sure. It's fine. It's not the Tempranillo. So next up, we have red wine and lemonade. In fact, both of our next combos kind of sound like weird punch bowl experiments that you might have tried in college, but it really might work. So we're going to take red wine and lemonade. Traditionally, what I'm looking to recreate is claret lemonade, which is made by you dissolve sugar in lemon juice and then you add claret. This is the low maintenance version where I'm just going to mix lemonade and red wine. So I chose this hopefully easy to find Josh Scheller's Merlot, which touts itself as having blueberry, a very common Merlot flavor, raspberry and milk chocolate, and scents of fragrant violets and vanilla. Largely, claret is a red Bordeaux wine, which is ideally dark fruits and some earth and spice. So this is our easy to find, budget friendly. Gonna do double duty in just a second. So that's this version. So I'm thinking this could work. No promises. So far, we're not doing great. But we've got the bright lemon acidity, some sugar, sassy citrus tanginess. There's a lot of S's, very sibilant. Could lift up this fruit-forward wine into like a sangria adjacent. Caution here, the lemonade can easily overpower wine, I'm thinking. So I'm going to do 1.5 parts wine to 1 part lemonade, and then tweak if I need to. So hang tight, and we will measure out, what did I just say? 1 to 1.5. So we'll do 1 ounce of lemonade. I have the Wegmans Organic. I don't actually know if there's sugar in it. Yes, organic sugar. Okay. Whew, that was going to be rough if there wasn't. 1 ounce of lemonade. I'm going to need to drink wine after this because I feel like I'm torturing myself. Anyway. We'll do 1.5 and then see if we need to add more wine. Okay. we're gonna need a little bit more wine than that because I can smell the lemon more than I can smell the wine. So we'll add another 1/2 ounce. So now we're looking at 2 ounces of Merlot to 1 ounce of lemonade. That's good. What? I like that. I also feel like I could add like a splash of sparkling water and like a sprig of mint or basil and charge like $30 on this if I were running a rooftop bar in Manhattan. I digress, but I shockingly really kind of enjoy this. It mostly just tastes like less aggressive lemonade. I'm not getting a whole lot of wine, which explains why I needed more wine in the first place. Let's try, now I've messed up the ratio, but let's try adding just like a splash more wine. I'm shooketh. I would drink this. I'm not going to say it's a 10 out of 10. That's a little aggressive. But I would easily give this an 8.5 out of 10. I would take this over the Coke if I were like, man, I really want some wine. I'm in the pool. I don't want a white wine. I don't want a chillable red because chilling the red ruins all the fruit and mostly just gives you the tannins. I would mix this and make it. I might actually have this again. So there's that one. Okay, I just foisted some upon my partner because he doesn't really like cherry or lemons, so I'm really a very mean spouse. But he described it as vibrant, bright acidic, and a little bit puckery. So a little too acid, I think, for his taste. But so far, the least hated of what we have. Okay, so next we are doing red wine, and ideally it would have been guarana soda, which I'm probably mispronouncing, or passion fruit. So this is like our tropical twist, a little Brazilian energy. There's a Brazilian bakery or cafe down the street, and that place is hopping at all hours. So I'm getting distracted. Okay, so the original suggestion, as I noted, was for the guarana, but if you saw my behind the scenes from my shopping trip, which I posted on the Instagram, they only had a 24 pack, and I'm just not ready for like that level of commitment to the soda because I haven't had it. I probably could have just tried a local shop. As I said, we live in a greatly, delightfully diverse neighborhood, but also still trying to keep this relatively doable for wherever you happen to be. So since the suggested alternative was passion fruit soda, and I also couldn't find that, I have this passion fruit cocktail, and then these two, like, I think they're probiotic drinks. I've got a strawberry passion prebiotic probiotic sparkling, and a gut healthy pineapple passion fruit and ginger. I'm assuming this will be the worst of these experiments, which is why I didn't put it last, because I wanted to do the miserable stuff in the middle. Ideally, these drinks will bring sweetness, bright acidity, although maybe we had too much bright acidity, and maybe some like fruity bitterness. So when you think about like the peels or the rinds of the fruits, you get a little fruity bitterness, and possibly even floral characters, which could vibe weirdly well with the wine, fruit, floral amplification is happening. If you can land guarana, I believe it gives you like this vaguely herbal cola citrus hybrid. Let me look. I asked Copilot for a description of guarana that I might still have up. Who knows, honestly, anymore. Yes, so a unique flavor profile that can be described as fruity, sweet, and mildly bitter. Undertones reminiscent of ginger ale, apple soda, and hints of chocolate or coffee. This sounds like a wine, to be honest. Some describe it as tart and crisp, similar to an apple with a berry-like aftertaste. So that would be guarana if we had it. I didn't find it, so we are trying these three. The passion fruit will lean into this like exotic citrus tropical tang. I don't know why I'm interpretive dancing, but I am. And I'm hoping that will kind of like bring out the wine's like brighter fruit notes instead of those dark fruit notes. Let's, yeah, let's give this a go, I guess. We're going to do another... I think we're going to do another 2-to-1 ratio on this one. If you were looking for an ideal wine to do this, and this might actually have been better for the last one, I would say a juicier red. So Gamay, Garnacha, maybe even Lambrusco, especially they have sparkling ones that are nice. But I'm just putting a lot of burden on this Merlot and hoping for the best while expecting... I don't have expectations, actually. Let's just give this a taste. So we will do, what did I just say? 2-to-1. 2-to-1 with the wine being the 2. So, God, this is probably going to be awful. The things I do. All right, 1 ounce of, that's in Spanish, passion fruit cocktail. 1 ounce of strawberry passion probiotic drink. Maybe we could get healthy while we drink. And then 1 ounce of this pineapple passion fruit ginger. This is probably going to be the worst one. I'm not looking forward to this. And then... This is such chaos. What a great video. Thanks, Bacchus, for providing me with this. I'll do 2 ounces of wine. All of these bottles, I can't remember if I mentioned, they were all under $15, so this isn't the worst thing I've ever done. Plus, there is wine left over, so I'm just going to drink the wine. If you wanted to do more of the wines that I have suggested, you could throw a party and have people bring different red wines and different of these mixers if you're intrigued by any of it. I'm just stalling. All right, let's go. Passion fruit cocktail. Smells more like the passion fruit than the wine again. It gives it like a tartness. What gives what the tartness? Unclear. I don't hate that. I think it's because the passion fruit cocktail is so strong. Which one is this? The strawberry passion. That's shockingly good. I can get good gut health and drink my Merlot. I want more of that. What? I think you might like this middle one. This is the passion fruit. I don't know how you feel about passion fruit. He's my faceless guy. I see that a lot on Instagram accounts. They're faceless, mysterious, sexy. The face does not bode well. How about these strawberry passion Merlot? It's sparkling, FYI. It has bubs. This was rated fine, and this is getting as the face. So
that just tastes like cherry cough syrup.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I got more strawberry out of it.
I'm just not gonna do that. The passion fruit one was my favorite.
Well, they're all passion fruit. It's just that this is just passion fruit. This is strawberry passion fruit. This is pineapple passion fruit ginger. And I think what's throwing me is the ginger is gingery.
Yeah, no.
No, we're gonna know.
The OG passion fruit.
OG passion fruit, which honestly is what the original drink is supposed to be. It's just that I saw these before I got to that aisle. It's in the aisle 3 with all, or is it whatever 4? I don't know, wherever we get all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd already grabbed these and I just didn't want to put them back, to be honest. This wouldn't taste... The only reason I want him to try this is because it tastes like something I've had before and I can't figure out what it is. You don't have to. Okay. I'll buy you Starbucks. Okay. Oh no. If I'm single in the next video, it's because of the gut healthy hydration. But it tastes like something.
Yeah. It tastes like if you asked me to go pick one of the tomatoes from our garden but I didn't know what that meant. So all I did is I pulled up the whole tomato plant and just licked the entire plant. And then ate basil. That's what it tastes like.
I hate to say this, but it does kind of taste like Chianti, which has those flavors in it.
Basil and
so,
the plant?
Yeah, tomato leaf.
Okay.
It's a legit... Okay.
There you go.
I'll be back for the next section.
That's what it tastes like. Just the tomato plant and basil.
Okay, genuinely no shade on the Josh Merlot. Josh Prosecco is what my partner loves to drink. It's what we get for celebratory bottles when I don't feel like forking over hundreds of dollars for champagne. Anyway, but I would say it may have been affecting the choices because I just had some, and it has a little bit of that bitterness that happens on the end of some wines that I don't always love. So Merlot got a super bad rap after the movie Sideways, and I don't think it deserves that. I think Merlot is very approachable, very chill. We've got medium acid, we've got medium tannin, we've got nice fruits. It's not like you're never gonna have a Merlot where you're like, I had my wine. But I also feel like you rarely get a Merlot that like genuinely sucks. However, I wouldn't say that's the best Merlot I've ever had, so I would be curious how all of that went with a better Merlot. I'm still going to finish the bottle. Fret not, Josh. This is not hate towards you. You make great wines. Anyway, okay, wine mixers 6 and 7. So close. All right, so red wine and sparkling water, which is just a wine spritzer, and Tinto de Verano, which I may also be mispronouncing. We're switching our wines. We're moving on from the Merlot to this Arath Oregon Pinot Noir, and we are using it for 2 drinks, just like we did with the other ones. Red wine spritzer. Whew. I haven't even had that much wine. Okay, spritzer is super simple wine and sparkling water. So warm days, light drinking, stretching a bottle. My confession back when I was a Barefoot Merlot baby, as I have already confessed to being in other videos, we listen and we do not judge. I used to mix Barefoot with this like black cherry sparkling water, mostly to avoid hangovers. We listen and we do not judge. You know what? Actually, if you're going to judge, could you judge in the comments because it helps the algorithm with the... Anyway. And then for the Tinto de Verano, we're mixing red wine with lemon soda. It's super popular in Spain, or so says the internet. Like a light, zippy alternative to sangria. And I feel like we're also kind of pitting France against Spain, like Claret Lemonade or Tinto de Verano. Culture wars. Just kidding. I'm pretty sure you can also do it with Sprite, but I got this like very fancy schmancy lemon soda. I'm wondering suddenly Sicilian lemon, other natural flavors. I'm wondering if I should have gone less fancy schmancy. Anyway, both of these will benefit from the wine's high acidity and bright red fruits. I would stick with an Oregon Pinot for this. Okay, I haven't actually tasted it yet, but my mind says French Pinots tend to have more of those secondary forest floor, mushroomy notes, and then Cali Pinots can be overwhelmingly jammy. But for this one, I'm thinking if I already drink polar water in flavors like strawberry lemonade, raspberry lemonade, cherry limeade, then the idea of these bright red, slightly underripe, I already said red, slightly underripe fruits with a citrus kind of makes a lot of sense for me. What do we want to end? Do we want to end with a... Okay, we're gonna do the water first, actually, so that I don't taint the water with the lemonade. Okay, so sometimes I question my life choices, but then I'm also like, no, my life's awesome. I'm making fun wine videos. Okay, I think I want to do a 1-to-1 for this. Let's do let's do a 1-to-1 for the water. So we'll do 1.5 ounces of the, make sure you don't get tonic water. Tonic water has quinine in it, and that will be a less pleasant experience for you. So I'm going to do 1.5 ounces of plain sparkling water to 1.5 ounces of this Oregon Pinot. It's not Willamette, but it should still have a lot of the cooler climate Dundee, Oregon. I'll read it to you. This soft and approachable Oregon Pinot Noir appeals to red and white wine lovers alike. There's like a swinger joke in there, and I'm just not sure what it is. Crafted to highlight Pinot's best characteristics, enjoy it on its own, or discover how well it pairs with food. We'll do another pairing video one of these days. All right. Smells like wine. You're going to need more wine than I did. It is not an aggressive structured Pinot, which I appreciate, but you need more wine to stand up to the bubbles. That is nice. I could see, okay, I do actually feel like I want a slightly more aggressive. Maybe if you could find one, that's cute. I never noticed that. It says Earth Heart, and that's how they got Arath. Anyway, if you could find one that had been through a cold fermentation maceration, or a pre-fermentation maceration, also known as cold soak maceration, to extract more of those flavors, more of those colors, not as much of the tannins, because that's what we're not wanting in the hot weather. It might stand up, or maybe only do like a 1/2 ounce of the water to 3 ounces of the wine might have been a better ratio, and then you can throw an ice cube in, and as it melts, it will sort of dilute it. Okay, now I think I needed to let it mix a little bit more. Yeah, I feel like this is definitely, it's basically just like what I was doing when I was younger. You can stretch the bottle. You can drink more for longer. Not even a budget thing. Just like if you're about to spend 4 hours at the beach or, 5 hours in your backyard or whatever you're wanting to do, and you want to, be steadily drinking just because you have the, hand, I don't know, am I double fisting here? What's happening? You could definitely stretch this to make it last you a little bit longer without getting completely smashed. So now with this one, I'm thinking it's going to be the same as the lemonade, where I need, more wine. More wine. Oh my God, it already... So when we talk about pronounced intensity at like the W set, I opened it and I was like, that's lemonade. Okay, I'm sorry. Frizzante Sicilian lemon soda. So we'll do 1 ounce of this, which might be too much. Frizzante. And then 2 ounces? 2.5 ounces. Let's go big or go home. I am home. It's gonna be a long video. All right, last one. I would propose that I like this better than the lemonade. The sparkles are nice. Are you sneaking down here?
Am I allowed to?
Yeah, I mean, you won't show up on the camera as long as you don't come past the doorway. Would you like to offer your brightness and vibrancy notes on the Frizzante European Soda Sicilian Lemon with other natural flavors?
Oh God, I'm gonna hate this.
Okay, well.
It smells like a summer punch.
Okay. I feel like that's kind of what we're going for, like sangria adjacent. Bright, fluffy.
Tastes like summer punch.
Okay.
It tastes exactly like, one of those, like, you have the bowl that's like 4 feet in diameter with the bundt cake ice cube in the middle.
Isn't that jungle juice?
Yeah, that's what it tastes like.
Okay, I'll take it.
But like,
this is the one with just water that I think I needed more wine, to be honest. It's sparkling water.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
it makes it stretch.
Are we just watering?
No.
Like we're just watering down
just
wine?
watering down. No, it like stretches it so you can have it like for longer when we're in the pool and it's hot and we're already getting tired drunk.
Why?
He didn't like that one.
Just
I think
tastes
this
like,
is pretty.
Yeah.
This might be
the only acceptable one.
I was gonna say the winner, but I mean, yeah, he's not wrong. This would be probably. All right, let's rank them. Number 1. I'm gonna give passion fruit number 2. I feel like the lemonade and the Coke are tied for number 3, and I think you get a very different experience depending on what kind of Coke you get. And then, what else did we have? Yeah, just don't do the rest of them. I'm I'm so sorry for all the people who are like trending with their wine floats or whatever, but just don't. Just enjoy your ice cream and then have your wine separately because they're so good. Like, I love ice cream. I love wine. What happened? But if you are trying to make your wine more refreshing, I'm going to say the Tanto de Verano followed by the Brazilian twist on the soda and wine. I might have to go find some guarana to see how that fares. Then the Cokes, and then just ignore everything else that happened in this video. Once again, I have no idea what's happening next week. Actually, I think I started to take notes on a white blend, so we might be doing a white blend. We haven't been in the pool yet, so I feel like maybe we need to go to the pool so we can have a nice white wine in the pool. And in the meantime, I hope this was at least as amusing for you as it was for me, and maybe saved you or made you want to try some really crazy things. So I will see you next week. Cheers.